This video tutorial is a bit of a deeper dive into networks. It is aimed at organisation administrators who produce information. Now, when looking at communication functionality in ROMS, networks are pretty much the headline act. They are certainly the most powerful. You might recall in the communications overview video tutorial I spoke about 3 goals of functionality with respect to communications, those being archiving, broadcasting, and the establishment of self-serve repositories. Now, networks do all of these in the one place. The basic idea of a network is to create a group of people with similar interests or responsibilities and allow them to communicate and share content with one another, download documents, receive emails from administrators, etc. Now, in the context of a sporting organisation like a club or a school, example groups could be as simple as your normal membership base, or it could be a subset like a management committee. Likewise, it could be a superset like your existing members plus your alumni, basically anyone who's interested in your club. Now, you need 3 things for a network to work. Firstly, you obviously need the network itself, and note you can actually create as many networks as you need. Now, secondly, a network is no use without people in it, so the people who need to be in the network need a membership for the network. Now, this network membership is separate from your club membership. It is purely designed to allocate people to appropriate networks. Finally, you need some content to share, which we'll come to a bit later. Now, although some networks you will find are publicly accessible, the administration functionality of a network certainly is not. So let's get logged in. ROMS, roamingaustralia.com.au, and there's a separate video tutorial on logging in if you run into trouble. Now, there's a networks menu option up here, so a dashboard, announcements, which we'll talk about, browse and join networks, various network invitation and requests, and the list of current memberships that I've got. So having a quick look at browse and join networks. We've got several hundred networks in the system already, so one for each club, plus the various state associations and so forth. Now, you can see here I have a number of networks, so if I have a quick look at this one, Neurone New South Wales, for example. Now, it's a public network. I'm not a member of that network, yet I can see various items within there. If I have a look at, for example, Geelong College, I'm guessing it's a private network, so I can't see any of the content there. I need to join the network first. So in this particular case, the join button is enabled. That will send a membership request to the administrators of this network, and they'll either approve or dismiss the request. So looking at the network a little bit further, so I've got my root network. Well, the root network in this case would actually be Roaming Australia. They've created a sub-network. Looking at more administrative options, I can actually create additional networks for whatever purpose I see fit. You can also customize the logo of your network here. So upload new or change, and it's quite a simple process. It's the same as your normal profile or some of the regatta logos and various other places. So existing logos that I've got accessible to me, and I can simply select another photo or image and upload that and set that to the logo there. So now we've got our networks. Basically, we need to get people in them. Now, you saw how I could join a network optionally. Now, looking at the settings page, network access status. So we've got open, in other words, anyone can join at any time. Approval required. That was basically that join button you saw before. That would send the request through, and an administrator would approve it. There's by invitation from admin only, by invitation from member, and finally closed. There's no more network membership options available. And again, while we're on this screen, you saw how some networks were public, some were private. That's basically set with this either of these 2 options. And then finally, there's a hidden network as well, where it doesn't turn up on search boxes and so forth. You really need to know it exists from someone else. While we're on this page, we might as well quickly look at the rest of it. We've got some social networking linkages here. Some various text items, so terms and conditions, privacy, contact blob, history, about blobs, and email headers and footers. You can configure all of those at your leisure. We also allow, or there's an override here for some of the privacy settings. So for example, if I wanted, like let's say I was administering a board and I wanted all of the members within the board to have their email address visible to each other, I can click that and make it, for example, user configurable so they can still undo that. That way, if I was trying to find how to contact, or the mobile phone number, for example, of various bits and pieces, I can dig them up. So heading on back, we've now got the network, and we've now got people going into the network. So two out of three steps are now complete. All we need now is basically content. Now, quickly looking at the various types of content, we have network forums, network news articles, coming events, documents, shared links. As I said, the social networking linkages, there's a Twitter widget there, Facebook, YouTube linkages, and photos. Now, we'll have additional tutorials on how to do each one of those in significantly more detail, but feel free to explore around there. Most of it's pretty easy. So for example, manage documents. I've got a folder here, minutes of meetings, for example. So if this was a board network which is secured, then you can put all sorts of, or all manner of documents and subfolders and things like that to store all, or archive indeed, all of your old documents. So even when, for example, a new board member comes online, you can give them access to the network, and they can suddenly see 3, 4, 5 years worth of minutes of meetings, budgets, whatever you think is appropriate. So a quick word on that. We actually back up the system multiple times a day, offsite as well. So essentially we take all the headache out of managing your documents and put them in here. They're centrally available. Anyone can log in and anyone with appropriate access, I should say, can get in and log in and grab those documents at their leisure. They don't have to contact the secretary or the treasurer or something to get hold of bits and pieces. It's all here. So now we've got our network, we've got our content, and we've got our members. The final thing is to tell everyone about it. Now the key export is likely to be the email, so send email to network members. It's exactly as it sounds. You can come in with your customized headers and footers. You can come in with a template like this. Additionally, under communications, email newsletter templates, there's an option to create other templates in there and save them. So there's one there with a couple of custom fields and things. Now basically fill out your email, send, and that will go to all members who elect to receive communications from this network and have an email address in there, obviously. You can generate mailing labels if you wanted to do a hard copy post out. I'll just switch over to our testing system at the moment, which has no, all the data in here is anonymous. So rather than accidentally leak some private information, we'll do this. A couple of other little hints and tips we've got. So under more administration options, there's also a network membership list where you can actually download the raw data, for example, with preferred email addresses, phone numbers, contact details, suburb postcodes, and export that out to Excel. So heading back to the network, again recapping, we've got our network, we've got our content, we've got our members. We can tell them about it. They can actually participate in forums, for example. So we've got a forum created here for user interface suggestions. you can create a thread to start the conversation, sharing of photos, documents, and all the rest of it. So that's about all we've got time for in this particular installment. If you be sure to check out our additional video tutorials at youtube.com/decimalware. Thank you very much.